Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining me. I'm a little late here, but better late than never. Thank you for joining me. Hopefully you all can hear and see me. Today on this virtual lunch and learn, we're going to be covering Instanet. So give you guys some of the basics, some of the overview, where you guys can get some support, and maybe a couple of things that you didn't know about, or if you guys have never used it before, this will be a great introduction. If you have used it, maybe I'll just show you guys how to navigate through it a little bit better, and maybe something that you haven't seen before or didn't know. We're going to be going for about 30 minutes here, so 11 to 11:30-ish. I'll leave some time at the end for questions, and if you guys have those questions, the little chat box up there, you can put in the Q&A or the chat. So let's go ahead and get started. I'll answer those questions at the end just to keep the webinar going. Okay, so I started in Paragon, and I just went up to resources and then down to Instanet. So that's how I got to it. It loads. It's kind of taking a long time to load, so I already have it open. So once you guys click on Instanet, it will take you over here. It will run through some, pre-flight checks. Just give it a minute, and then it will take you to your agent dashboard. So this is what you'll see when you first open up Instanet. It's going to be called the agent dashboard. You'll notice a couple of things here. You have a bunch of little boxes that say different things. This kind of gives you a quick reference point to go to certain areas. So for instance, if I need to start assigning, I can just jump right in there by clicking on that box. If I need to get a contact in here, I can get started by just clicking there. Email, transactions, fax, and templates. I also have my forms, Authentisign, my transactions, and my tasks and checklists. You guys can edit these if you want to. Up in the top right-hand corner, there's a little lock here. If you click on that lock, it's going to go ahead and drop down this little menu, and you're going to be able to add in anything here that it, sorry, I was just trying to scroll. So anything here that's gray, it's already added. So you guys won't have to add that again. And then if it's blue or green, then it means you can add it up. So if I wanted to bring the upload in here, I could just click and drag and drop, and then it's going to place it on your home page. And then you guys can also remove any of these by just pushing the X. You guys can move these around by clicking on them and dragging. So you can kind of form this to be however you want on your home page. Okay, so that's going to be the agent dashboard. Over on the left-hand side, I guess I should start off by saying, before I get too much into it, Instanet is going to be more than just an e-signature software. It's going to be what I reference to it as like your guys' folder, where all your hard copies of all of your, contracts, documents, whatever that's related to that contract is in. This is going to be like your electronic version of it. So you guys can store any kind of documents up here. You guys can fax things out. You guys can, of course, have things to be signed. You guys can create checklists. You guys can have, the calendar view of important dates. It's really more of a transaction solution more than just an e-signature. And this is included in your Cren MLS membership. So you guys won't be charged anything for this. So I wanted to get that out of the way before I got kind of into it here. So should have started with that. Okay, so what I did here was I moved from the agent dashboard. I can move by just clicking these icons, but if you guys don't know what these icons mean, you have these three little dots up here in the top left-hand, or three little lines. Click on those three lines, and you're gonna see all of this little left-hand menu expand out, and it's gonna tell you everything that is available to you. So forms is a big one. They're all directly from Doris. So these forms are straight from Doris. So you don't have to worry about them being, legal or whatever the case is. You guys can use these forms, print them out. You guys can fill them out online. You can send them to your clients to be filled out. And then, of course, you can always send them off to be e-signed. So you have all your contracts here, all of your documents, optional forms, sales contracts, listing contracts, counterproposal, closings, and etc. So you guys can use this little navigation on the left-hand side to get to where you need to be. So up at the top left-hand corner, we have dashboard, transactions, signings, forms, documents, tasks, contacts, partners, settings, help, and log out. So we'll just go through these hopefully just one by one here. I just wanted to start with the forms though, because that's pretty much the most important thing when you're looking at this e-contract software is, you know, do they have the approved forms from DORA? So they do. Dashboard, we kind of went over. That's going to be your homepage. That's where you can see everything at once. If you guys want to just go into the transactions themselves, you guys can click on transactions, and then it's going to show you all of your transactions that you have in the middle of your screen here. So we're going to start off by just adding a new transaction. So up here in the top right-hand corner, I'm going to select add. I'm going to name it. So I'm just going to name it Ben Darby. You guys can name this whatever you want. You can do the address, you can do the owner name, you can do the, you know, your name, whatever the case is. Anything that you guys use to reference it, you guys can use that. Right below that is a template, and I'm going to show you guys where you guys can create these templates here in a minute. But what you can do is have certain documents, you know, if you guys need a contract to buy and sell, always in and when you're creating these transactions, you guys can create these templates to already have those forms and all that stuff laid out, so you don't have to keep on adding them every time. So I'm going to select none. Type, you can go ahead and select what this is. For this sake of this webinar, I'm just going to do a residential sale, maybe. I don't know. I know the software. I don't know anything about the realtors and what they use and how you guys do your business, but I know by showing you guys how to use it, you guys can incorporate that into your business. So I'm just going to do residential sale, but you guys can see, you guys can choose any other kind of type that this is, so you guys can reference that. So I'm just going to do residential sale. Import data. This is also pretty cool. If you guys have the MLS number, or if you have the parcel ID number, you guys can select to import all that data, so you don't have to bring in all that stuff manually. So I'm going to show you guys how to get it from Realist, our tax integration software. So what I did was I just select source. I can go to Realist, current MLS, and now I can select my county. So I'm just going to do La Plata County for this example. I actually went out to Realist and found a property and just took that parcel ID number and copied it. But you guys can also, from Instanet, search from here. So I can go ahead and do a search by doing the street number, city, zip code, tax number, last name. So I can search within here, but I just went to Realist and I found that parcel ID and I copied it. So now it's going to import all the information from that parcel ID. And then you guys can select how do you want you to be added. So it defaulted it to the selling agent. And now I'm going to use the wizard because it gives you a step-by-step instructions to what you need to do. So I always would recommend just using that because it just lays it out for you. You don't have to, but if you guys are getting started and you haven't used this before, it's very helpful to use that wizard. So I have all of my information filled out. I'm going to go ahead and hit create in the top right-hand corner here. And let's see if my internet wants to move slow or fast. So it's always a coin toss. It's always a guessing game. I like bet with myself. Is it going to go fast? So that wasn't bad. Took a minute. But as you can see, now I'm in the wizard. And now I am on step 1 of 5, the details. So if you guys didn't use the import, you guys would be taken to this step where you would manually put in all this information. Well, I imported it, so it imported as much information that it could for this property. So you can see the street number, the city, county, all of this information was automatically imported for me. I can add if I want to. I can add a year built, zoning. I can go ahead and edit this if I need to. But for the sake of this webinar, we're just going to go through these steps, and I want to show you how that import worked and how you can get these transactions started. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and hit next. Transaction dates. So this is where you can keep track of all this stuff. You can put in your listing date. You can put in your expiration date, offer, acceptance, additional. I mean, you can see all these options that you have to put in here that relates to this transaction. So this is step 2, transaction dates. After I fill all this out, I can go ahead and hit next. And just a little tidbit here. all this information will be imported into your forms if that form has that field. So if I had a form that needed the expiration date and I put expiration date in here, then that form will automatically populate with this expiration date. So the more that you know and the more that you put in here, it's better because it's going to help you with those forms to where you won't have to fill all that information out on those forms. Okay, so we're on step 2 of 5. I'm going to go ahead and hit next. Now my contacts, I have me, of course, and then I have other contacts that are related to this. If I don't need them in here, I can delete them. If I want to edit them, I can go ahead and select their name and I can edit any information with them. Or I can add a new contact from scratch if I need to do that. But now you can see it already brought in the seller and it brought in me and the selling broker, which, oh, that's the office. Okay. So that's going to be my office. So it will automatically import this stuff in for you. That's step 3, contacts. Step 4 is going to be your forms. So I don't have any forms related, and this is where I said the templates would come in handy. If you had a template made, then you wouldn't have to add the forms. They would already be in here and ready for you to fill out. But since I didn't put a template in here, I'm just going to add from my, my forms here. And then I'm just going to do a sales contract, I guess. And expandable and non-expandable, if you guys don't know what that means, if that's ever confused you, or if you just want to know, expandable forms will adapt to how much text you put in there. So if you write a huge paragraph, the expandable forms will fit all of that in there and it will just expand the contract to fit all of that text. The non-expandable has set boxes to where you can only put in a certain amount of text there and it won't expand. It's just going to have you put in that much and that's it. So I usually always go for the expandable, contract to buy and sell real estate, residential. Let's go ahead and add that in there. I click on it. My little green check mark comes in here, and now I can hit add up in the top right-hand corner. So now I have my contract in here. So now I have my form. I can add in anything else. And now next is going to be my documents. One question that I usually get from people is, what is the difference between the forms and the documents? The forms will become documents once they are signed. So forms are the documents that you, or the forms are the contracts that you have that have not been signed yet. Once this is signed, it will move over to my documents and it will be there, and then it will be there to where it's not going to be sent out to be signed again. That's a final document. So that's going to be the difference. Forms have not been signed. Documents are completed forms, basically. So I just went over all 5 of those steps. I can go ahead and hit done. And now I have my transaction dashboard. So just like the agent dashboard, this shows me some of the relative information according to this transaction. I have my forms, I can start a new one, I can see the form that I just added, I can see all my documents, and I can edit this just like the agent dashboard like I did when we were there a few minutes ago. If you guys ever need to go back to one of those steps that we just went through, over on the right-hand side, you'll have all of your information to go, all of your menu options to go back to those. So if you need to bring in another form, you can go over here and click on forms, and that will be there. If you need to bring in another contact, that will be there as well. If you don't see this menu option, there's 3 little lines up here in the top right. You click on that and it makes it go away. Click on it again and it will make it appear. So like I said, you guys have the ability to add in checklists. You guys can add tasks. So you guys can do a lot more than just fill out a form and have it to be signed. You can have everything related to that contract here. You guys can add documents from your computer. So if you needed to add a document, a PDF or something that you had scanned in or saved, you guys can add this and you guys can either upload from your computer and also other social places as far as like Google, Dropbox, stuff like that. So you guys can add any document to this. So let's go ahead and just get into one of these forms here, and let's just send it to be signed. And I'll go through the steps 1 through 4, I believe, with the AuthentiSign. So all I did was click on my form, and now I have it open, and you'll see some of the information that I had put in there or that was imported will already be on this form for me. So I already have the seller here, the description, the address, anything that I put in there that the form needs, it will be imported for you. So it's kind of nice. It saves you some time, and you won't have to worry about filling them out every time. I have the seller's name, I have the address, again, the seller's signature. So I'm not going to go through and fill all this out, but I'm just going to send it to be signed right now so I can show you what it's like to sign one of these documents. So up in the top right-hand corner, I have my sign pen. I'm going to click on sign. It just gives me a confirmation. Do you want to have this signed? I'm going to go ahead and say yes. And now it's going to take me over to Authenticign. So this is where you're going to start your signatures to have them be sent out to be signed. Okay, and you have 4 steps here. Step 1 is basically the name and how you want it to be signed. Do you want to do a sign in line where they sign in order, or do you want to do a simul sign where first come, first serve? Usually that works out for people, but you can also have it be one person signs it, then the next person gets it to sign, then the next person gets it to sign. That person after will not get it until the person before signs it. Okay, so I have step 1, pretty straightforward. Name it and how you want to have them sign it. You can do the advanced options. I'm not going to go through those right now, but if you click on that plus sign, you can see all these additional options for you guys to use. Step 2 is going to be the participants. So who is going to sign this? I can send it out to my seller. I can send it out to myself to be signed. And I can choose how I'm going to, once you click on their name, it says, what are they? What type of signer are they? Are they a remote signer? Are they in person? Are they a reviewer? Or are they only a CC? Well, I'm going to say remote signer, and then I'm going to add myself to this document or to this signing. I can add more people if I want to. I can go ahead and hit add participants, and I can add a new person. For the sake of this webinar, I'm just going to have me in there. Step 3 is the documents. Again, we already did our contract to buy and sell real estate, so I don't need to add that in there. I can add in other documents from here if I needed to. Click on that add documents, and it gives you a list of things that you can do to upload a document. So you can upload a file, you can go from Drive, Dropbox, OneDrive. You guys can select from the forms. You guys can, have all these different options if you needed to add something else in there. Okay, so pretty straightforward, 4 steps. 1 is how you want them to sign it. 2 is who's going to sign it. 3, what are they going to sign? And step 4 is showing them where to sign. So I click on step 4, design, and depending on how many documents, how big they are, will determine how fast this loads. My internet is not liking me today, so it's probably going to take a minute. That wasn't too bad. So now you can see my contract is here. I have the ability now to bring in signatures for them to sign and where they're going to sign it. So I'll just scroll all the way down to the bottom of my contract and say, all right, here is, I guess I should put my signature right here, I guess. But if I needed to put the seller's signature, I can put it right there. I did not add her, so it's not going to be here. But if you guys have more than one person, which I do not, but if you do, how you change those signatures is up here in the top right-hand corner. Mine says Ben Darby, so that means anytime I drag in a signature, it's going to have my name on it. It's going to expect me to sign there. If you guys had more than one person, you click on that drop down, and it will give you all the people that you have in there to sign. So I have me there. I need to drag in my signature, so I hit the drag and drop. This first one says sign here. I'm going to go ahead and scroll down and act like I am the broker and I need to sign this. And I'm just going to click and drag and put my name right there. One other cool feature is an auto date stamp, which is really handy. This will fill in the date for whenever they sign it. That date will populate. So I just drag that in over there, put it by the date, and now I am ready to have this signed. If you guys need to mark this up or add something in, you guys definitely can. Over here, you have the markup tool, and you guys can add in anything that you need. If you need to highlight something, if you need to strike through something, if you guys need to add text, you can do that straight from here as well. So if you messed up and you see something wrong, you guys can definitely, depending on the error, you guys can usually fix it from right here instead of having to go back and do the whole thing over. Okay, so now I'm going to hit next. And now I am in the final stage. All I have to do is hit send invitations. So if I send that invitation, it's going to be going to staff@crenmls.com for me to sign it. And I am done. So once you guys do that, it's going to give you this little, it's going to take you over to the AuthentiSign. I don't know, I guess I would say, I don't know if they had a word for it or not. Let me see, just signings, I guess. So they give you your signings, and now you can see that I have the ability to see this signing, and I can see what the status is, and I can click in here, and it gives you these helpful little flags and icons to tell you where you are at. So I have myself, and I haven't signed it yet because there's a clock here. Once I open the email, this will turn to a flag, and then once I sign it, it will turn to a flag. So that's how you know when it's been completed. When all of these are flags, then you know that the signing has been completed. Once the signing has been completed, you'll see down here, you'll have document versions. It will give you the original document, it will give you the one that I signed, and it will give you the one below that of it being completed. So you will have the ability to see all of those different versions and the final document as well. So I know I'm blowing through this, guys, but you know, 30 minutes to cover some of this stuff is really hard. So just wanted to show you guys kind of the whole process from starting the transaction to filling out the form to sending that out to be signed, and then what it would look like when that document has been signed and where you can find that. And that you would go to the signings here, and that's where all of your signings will be. Okay, so now I can come in here and see this little ribbon means that it's done. So anytime you see a ribbon, it's done. This is in progress or in the wizard, and then this is in progress. So ribbon done, gears in wizard, and lightning bolt, it's in progress. So let me go over to the settings here really quick. I want to show you guys where you can create those templates, and you guys can also bring in clauses. So if you have a clause that you always use and you don't want to rewrite it all the time, then you guys can definitely put it in here. So if I go to clauses, I can go ahead and choose, do I want to do a personal clause? And now I can select, that's one that I use. But now you can go to add and add new clause. And now you can title it and then put in whatever you need. It will be here for you to use on any contract or form. You can add that in there. Templates, where are the transaction templates? So if I wanted to put in a new template, I'd go up here to the top right-hand corner and hit add. I would name this and put, you know, my template. I don't know, you guys can name this whatever. I'm not really good at naming stuff. So if I wanted to do a template for any time I selected residential sale, I can go ahead and select that type, hit save, and now I have the ability to add in any of these things to that template to where it will be imported anytime you start a transaction as that residential sale, or you use this template, my template. Okay, so you guys have the ability to do some of that stuff. There is also a place where you can import logos, change your preferences, stuff like that. If you guys have an iPhone, you guys can download this on Apple devices. They're still trying to come out with Android, but if you have an Apple, you can download this from the App Store and it will look just like it is now. Okay, so I have a couple of minutes here. I did see a little bit of questions. And again, if you guys actually, before I go into the questions, if you guys have any questions or if you guys need more help and support, if this wasn't enough, or if I don't do a good job, you guys can always go to this little help icon, and you have all these different little tutorials, webinars, guides, support, online training, that you guys can check out and help you get started with Instanet. Okay, so that's the help icon, and you can click on any one of these and it will take you to get some help. All right, so let's go to the questions here really quick. I have a couple. Are these webinars saved? They're not saved yet. The webinars, still working on it. It's just taking me a little bit. Got a little things on my plate here. So I'm trying to get them all together, trying to get them all situated and hosted on our webpage. I promise that will be soon. I've been saying that for a while, but that will be soon. I will have that ready, and you'll have a little link on the homepage, and it will be right there to where you guys can click and see all of my webinars that I've been doing. Promise it will be soon. I will do a more advanced class if I get enough requests for it. I also do one-on-ones or office trainings, or just a couple agents want to get together and do a training. I'm all for that. If you guys want to set something up, either send me an email, give me a call. We can always set up a time to do more of an advanced training. Instanet's hard. A lot of agents don't use it, unfortunately, so I don't get really that many requests on it. But if anybody reached out to me and wanted me to do a more in-depth advanced training, absolutely, I would definitely set up a time with you. So reach out to me if you want to do that. Looks like that is all of the questions so far. I'll give it a couple more minutes. If you guys have any more, I will definitely stay on. Otherwise, thanks again. I always enjoy when you guys take time out of your day to join me on these webinars. I know you guys are busy. So if you guys have any questions, reach out to me. You know where to find me. I'm at the office, 240-1600. So we got another question coming here too. But for those of you who don't, again, stay safe and healthy out there. Thanks for joining me. We'll be doing this again, same time next week. Don't know that topic. I'm going to post that today as well on the homepage and on Paragon. So you guys have the ability to register for that. Just don't know the topic yet. So if you guys have any ideas, definitely shoot me an email or shout it out. I'm always open to suggestions on what you guys want to cover on these webinars. So thank you guys and have a good day. I'm going to stay on the line for a couple more minutes here. It looks like there's one more question coming through, and then, yeah, we'll be good to go. Okay. That's not a problem. I hate when that happens too. Yep, email or call me though if you have any questions. No problem. I hope you have a good day out there, and getting close to the weekend. So hopefully you guys have a good weekend as well.